Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Tuesday, February 25th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown, so if you are someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. Real quick, a couple clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there will be moving around and changing. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. Second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one, ticker symbol ATCH. Big mover today, good solid volume, and now we have a pattern here that you got to think a lot of people are watching. So the main pattern, or I should say part of the pattern, is this area of support right there, because this essentially is measuring the big pullback here and the fact that it is at least starting to go sideways. So it makes sense to throw out the question and the theory that I think this pullback is over, right? That makes sense. Case in point, let's say the price was doing something like this, and then somebody's saying, hey, I think the pullback is over. You'd be totally justified to say, wait a second, based on what? It's still pulling back. It's still going down. But that's not the case here, right? It has at least started to go sideways. Now, sideways does not guarantee that the pullback is over. My point is it becomes plausible to suggest that it could be over, and that's what that support line right there is helping us measure. So you want to see the price stay up above there. If it does not, then really no other areas of support until down there at those moving averages. That doesn't mean that if this line fails, the price is going straight down there. All I'm saying is that when you look back through here, you can see the chart just opens up and there aren't any other areas that suggest potential areas of support until down around those moving averages. But so far, so good. The price is holding above that green line right there. If the price does try to turn itself around and get a bit of a bounce, key area of resistance right there. So from an overall pattern perspective right now, we have our area of resistance. We have our support. We have the big upward move right there. For you golfers, make it a little bit more visual, put the golf foot on there. This would be a bull pennant pattern. So just because something's bullish does not mean it's going to go up for sure. But if you do like this price range, you like bull pennants, definitely keep an eye on it. Next one, PLTR. The pullback continues, although we do have a pattern here that is one of my favorites. So let's get this into play. So we have the bottom part of the pattern, support. Top part of the pattern right there, resistance. And this would be what is known as a falling wedge, which is actually a bullish pattern. You would think a falling wedge is bearish, but it's actually bullish, whereas the rising wedge is the bearish one. But nonetheless, as I just talked about, just because something's bullish does not mean for sure guaranteed the price is going to go upwards. But this is a falling wedge on a very well-known, a very talked about stock. I mean, PLTR seems to be in the headlines and people asking and watching it all the time now. So there's just that much potential of a self-fulfilling prophecy, because when a lot of people are watching the same things and wondering the same things, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movements. So no guarantees, but certainly plausible to think that if the price comes down here, you could get a bounce off of it, or if it comes up here and breaks through it, that break in and of itself could create additional buying pressure. Again, no guarantees, but just plausible thoughts to have. So that's really at least in my opinion, the best way to kind of summarize PLTR right now is looking on the 30-minute time frame, and you have this bullish falling wedge pattern. Next one, YYAI, and a very intriguing setup here as we go into tomorrow, based on the fact of, nasty move here, but then the price has now started to work its way back upwards. So as we already talked about, does that mean for sure guaranteed the pullback is over? No, but is it plausible? Is it reasonable to think that this pullback could be over? Absolutely, and that's where this trend line right here, very, very important as we head into Tuesday. It's been doing a good job of showing that every little pullback has had higher lows, so you want to keep an eye on that. And then on the flip side of things, have a very well-defined area of resistance, which is right up here where the price got rejected from twice at $1.64, both there and there. So from a pattern standpoint, really we have a nice little ascending triangle pattern. So it's really just a question of moving forward. Can the price respect the bottom part of this pattern and then eventually work its way up here? And if it can, and then get a break up through that level, no guarantees, but plausible to think that could create upside buying pressure. If the price does push to the downside of this pattern, then the next level that I would consider a very, very important level that you would want to see hold, so change it up a little bit, would just be the lows from down here at $1. We'll call it just $1. So as of right now, as I speak, price is doing battle with that. If it does push down through, then you definitely want to see the dollar mark hold. But by the time you watch this, the day will basically be over, so you have an idea of where this closed. But these are definitely the two key areas of support. Next one here, STEC, and again, nicely well-defined pattern. And as far as supports are concerned, that's definitely going to be a very important level down there at, we'll call it $1.55. You can see not once, but twice the price was down around that area, and it did indeed hold strong. So in order to make the argument that, yeah, I think this pullback is healthy, I think it's over, as long as that level holds strong, then again, it's a plausible argument to have. And then in terms of areas of resistance, and I'm going through this one a tad bit quicker because we've already talked about these patterns, but we have this area of resistance right there. So to make it easier to see, let's keep it one color. So we have our resistance, we have our support, we have the huge explosion right there. We have the golf hole down here. So we have ourselves another bull pennant pattern. So if you like bull pennants, but you prefer stocks down below the $5 mark, here you go. Next one, NVDA. And I mean, it started off very, very rough on the day. Big move up and then a big move down. But this is also where things are encouraging because at least the price did respect the pink line down here, which on my chart denotes very well known, the very important 200 period moving average, assuming you're bullish. I mean, if you're bearish, and yeah, this is your enemy, you just have disdain for this. You want to see the price just crash down below it. But assuming you're bullish, then that is a key level that you would want to see hold as support. And again, so far so good. The price has indeed held as support. Current value of this is, we'll just call it 131.50. So if this move comes down anymore, 131.50 is going to be that nearer term area of support. If that level does not quite hold up as support, next key level to watch then moving forward would then be down here right around the 130.25 mark. So keep an eye on 130.25 if that 200 period moving average does not quite hold. In terms of areas of resistance, the level here that I think made itself pretty apparent after today was right here at this grouping of highs. You can see several times came up here, bounced its head right off that, basically that 135 mark. So 135 going to be key area to watch resistance-wise if there is any sort of turn back upwards. And then you also want to keep an eye for more of an overarching standpoint on that purple line there, 50 period simple moving average. But one step at a time, prices first got to get back above the 135 mark. So we'll see how things continue to play out on the week. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online webinar that I'm offering later on in the week. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box you can use, or if you're watching right at my website, there's an area on the webpage you can use to sign up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying, then definitely get signed up for the free class. Next one here, taking a look at PEPG. And as I speak right now, this one's having a very rough final 30 minutes of the day as it comes down here. So the big question mark now moving forward is, I think it's currently doing battle with it, but let's see. Yeah, okay, actually slightly below that, but 225, very important level. No fancy reasoning other than that's just simply where the lowest it went on the pullback previously. So if the price does ultimately break down here, and again, you'll have a better idea by the time you watch this. So in other words, if the price does close down below 225, next question you'll have to be asking yourself is, where's the price at relative to that purple line there? If somehow you're saying, actually, Clay, the price even closed down below that purple line, well, that's just telling you that this entire pattern now has been ruined, and the last 30 minutes really just kind of wiped things off the board. But as of right now, everything is still intact, even if it stays above that purple line, with the key area of resistance to watch moving forward. Whoops. Did not mean to do that. Let's try that again. There we go. That area right there. So have a little wedge formation here that is formed. But again, like I said, in order for this wedge formation to stay attractive, you needed to, at least bare minimum, stay above that purple line. If it stays above the green line, that would be even better. But there you go. Nice little bull pennant pattern in there. But no doubt about, yeah, last 30 minutes right here, not looking so good. Market's still open for another 19 minutes as of the recording at this moment in time. So like I said, you'll have a much better idea of where it ultimately closes. Next one here, TSLA Tesla. I've been tracking this one very closely. And what I'm going to do is I need to do a little bit of house cleaning here because this is getting kind of messy with all the lines. So I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of that level. Still, sure, it pertains, but again, from a presentation standpoint, I don't want to risk having clutter and confusion because there's lines everywhere. And this will mean a little bit more to those of you that watch previous videos, but if you have, hopefully you remember me talking about that red line right there. And I look at right where it got rejected this morning, right at that level. So I don't say that to pat myself on the back. I do say it to pat charts on the back, though, and brag about charts as a tool. Are charts perfect? No such thing as a perfect tool, but are they a tool that I think is very worth learning? Absolutely. And here we have a real-life example of the power of how they can work. So that was just my long way of kind of offering up a little sales pitch for learning charts, but also to reiterate that, yeah, this 342.50-ish mark remains the key battleground if there is any sort of attempted move back upwards. And then also keep an eye on this 329 mark, main or key area of support. Now, earlier today, the price did break down through there, but to give some credit's due, the bulls stepped up and pushed the price back upwards. Problem is, as of now, the price is kind of working its way back downwards. So that'll definitely be an important and interesting dynamic in Tuesday's movement is the price, assuming it gets tested, will 329 be able to hold? So that's going to be a very important level. If it doesn't, then the must hold level becomes down here at that level from just the lows of today of 324.70. And if the price breaks through both these areas of support, that would just be further confirmation that this current downwards move remains fully in the bear's favor. Next one, LCID, and a brutal day, and mainly just the brutal 30 minutes at the start. Granted, yeah, there was a little bit of a gap down, but that opening 30 minutes, I mean, just really, poured fuel on the bear fire. Did try to bounce. It's rolled back over. Now, the good news is you have you have a low right here, and then on this roll back over, it only got that low. So it has put in a higher base, which is a good step in the right direction. Does it guarantee anything? Of course not. No guarantees. But it does make it a little bit more plausible to say, okay, I think the bulls are regaining their footing. I think the bulls might be trying to make some sort of move back upwards. That's, very plausible. But at the end of the day, no guarantees. And also, I would say that a very, very important level to watch moving forward from a support standpoint is this area right here at the 275 mark. And I'm not saying this will occur, but the reason for its importance, if the price were to come down here and break down through there, what would that be doing to the price? Well, at that point in time, the price would be going right back to where it was. And I mean, not to insult your intelligence, but price movements that make very nice movements like this, and then all of a sudden go right back to where they were, not exactly a sign of genuine power. In fact, in terms of trading lingo, we would call that a dead cat bounce. So is this a dead cat bounce? Let's see if it can make progress. How is progress being defined as? Staying above 275. So we'll see what happens. Next one, MLGO, which was pretty shocking to me today. And I say that just based on how quickly interest just dropped off. Like, people just stopped caring. I mean, look at all this volume on Friday. I mean, that was a lot of volume. And then look at today's volume. Wow, over the weekend just killed the butt. I mean, everything, just look how low that volume is. Now, the good news is volume can always return. People can start caring again about it. But just crazy how a weekend made all the difference, and seemingly people just all of a sudden not caring about it anymore. But the pattern here that I drew, you can see, was violated this morning to the downside. So that is no longer in play. So we'll just get rid of all of that. But in the very near term, in terms of levels of resistance, that's an interesting level right there. We'll see if the price can push up through there, if it can be a high volume break again. Higher volume. None of this low volume stuff, but a higher volume break. Maybe that spurs the momentum and kicks it back into gear again. As far as supports, if this continues to come down, definitely want to watch that purple line there. Any sort of closes down below there, it's not going to build confidence from a bullish standpoint, and really puts the price in a realistic spot to potentially then head down to the pink line, which is the 200 period moving average. But as of now, nothing drastic on the day, but just one of those things where amazing to see how far the volume dropped off that quickly. Next one here, ADTX, and I don't want to say it's totally game over. I don't want to throw this in the pump and dump column. Now, when I say pump and dump, I don't mean that towards the company. I don't know anything about the company. I'm making that based strictly on the price action. But a pump and dump, price action-wise, in my mind, is price makes a really good move and then relatively quickly goes right back to where it started. So think about where this price was before the move occurred. It was down here. And then from here all the way up there, in my opinion at least, that was a really impressive move. And now all of a sudden, look at where the price is. Down around this area, which is why I would say this is a muscle level right here at 0.075. And the reason that is the case is that I'm not saying this will occur, but if the price were to come down here and then break down below, what is that doing? That is putting the price literally right back to where it all started, which, like I said, per my definition of a price bump and dump, once again, I'm not saying this company is being run out of a bunker in North Korea. I don't know anything about the company, just making it strictly based on price action. But that's what you would have. You would have, at that point, if the price violates 0.075, huge move up, and then a pretty quickly move right back to where it started. So 0.075, very, very important in that regard. If the price does try to head back upwards, keep an eye on both that 200 period moving average and then the 50 period moving average. So that wraps up the top 10 list. Again, if you like what you saw here and you want to learn more, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. Like I said, it'll be later this week, Thursday, February 27th at 8 p.m. Eastern time, so I hope to see you there. As far as the top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy these, then please do a couple things for me. Hit that like button, and if you're looking to support the channel in a super free and easy way, please hit that subscribe button. It really does help out and makes a big difference. So thanks for watching. Again, get signed up for that free class. Take care. Have a good one.